Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. We're back after a little bit of a break for the holidays, Thanksgiving. Hopefully you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Those of you that do celebrate that. Oh man, I'm excited to be back though. Hopefully you all are excited too to dive into tonight's chapter of Inspired Initiative. Before we do so though, we do have a bit of announcements to do before we get into it. First off, tomorrow, we're actually doing something a little new. We're doing a extra chatty talk thingamabob. I don't know if we have a proper official name for it quite yet. We're working on that. But basically, we're going to sit down, the five of us here, and just chat about the game, our characters, and we want questions. So if you go over to the Discord, we have a Q&A little thing there. Go ahead and write all your heart's desires of the questions for the games, whether that's the characters' questions, the world questions, any and all. We'll take it. And we will answer every single one. So please go do that. Looking forward to that as well tomorrow. Other than that, we do have some more inspiration to give out. So we'll do that now. As a courageous stalwart. And this goes to Euan for diving into the waters with a giant serpent Gulf Venom Leviathan right there, managing to stay conscious while it also attacked and nearly ate you. So, GG's, Euan. You get an inspiration for that. Excited to see when you use it.
Not so worth it.
Yes, the wet socks. That's what I should have called it, just wet socks. I think that's everything we have to get to before we dive into tonight's chapter of Inspired Initiative. So let's just go right for it, shall we? Previously on Inspired Initiative. After narrowly surviving a tense battle with quake shells, the group took a moment to recover before overhearing voices nearby. Attempting to stay hidden, Rhukkarrak's stealth faltered, leading to surprising first contact with a pair of Khazdurim. These dwarves, seemingly harmless hunters, searching for food, parted ways amicably after a brief exchange. Seeking answers, the group moved to higher ground to observe the Khazdurim campsite. Meanwhile, Rhukkarrak decided to approach the camp directly. He found a warm reception, even managing to trade for a pickaxe, a curious item that had reportedly been purchased earlier by an enigmatic elven figure. Convinced the Khazdurim weren't there to cause trouble, Rhukkarrak returned to the group, but his belief clashed sharply with Maldorwen's suspicions. Tensions flared, and they stormed off in frustration. Regrouping aboard the Leviathan hunter's vessel, the adventurers set sail to track down a Gulf Venom Leviathan. The hunt proved successful, as they skillfully harpooned the massive beast and returned triumphant to Elendor. Surveyed and permitted back into the city, the hunters promised additional gold for their assistance, asking them to return in the morning. Back in the city, unease lingered. Yuan keenly observed the tense atmosphere, noting something amiss with the townfolk's behavior. The group headed to the Thai chapter and encountered a frazzled chapter master Dagon, who hurried off to urgent business. Conferring with the captain, they pieced together troubling theories. The Khazdurim might not be responsible for the Typhon chaos. Instead, someone, or something, within the city could be stirring havoc. As the city prepared for tomorrow's races, the adventurers invited the captain to join them for dinner and reflection. After their meal, Maldorwen opened up to Taran, sharing his burdens as a follower of the primal conflict. Taran, in return, expressed her gratitude for the group's timely arrival. With the city resting before the big day, what new challenges await our adventurers at dawn? Will they uncover the truth behind the unrest before the races begin? And if the Khazdurim aren't the culprits, who or what truly is? Stay tuned for tonight's thrilling chapter of Inspired Initiative. Tonight, we begin while everyone is sleeping. Asja. As sleep reluctantly claims you, a warm and familiar presence envelops you. It is the same presence that lingers at the edge of your awareness in the waking moments, but here it feels stronger, more purposeful, as though reaching out to you directly. The darkness of unconsciousness fades, giving way to a vision of a scene etched into your memory. You find yourself once more overlooking the Kazdurum campsite, a vantage point both intimate and distant. Yet, as the image sharpens, you notice something strange. You see yourself standing there watching the camp. Before you can really process this, your perspective shifts and your body feels unresponsive, as though you're moving through someone else's eyes. Step by step, you approach the campsite. The comforting hum of life greets you. The sound of Rhukkarrak in conversation with a merchant, the ringing laughter of children at play, their innocence radiating like a beacon. A familiar desire wells up inside you, an unshakable need to protect, to help. The feeling pulses with warmth, resonating with the very core of your being. Just as the vision intensifies, your surrounding begins to blur and dissolve as the scene fades. But the echo of Kazdurum's hearty laugh lingers in your mind as your consciousness begins to return. As you then wake up with that laughter and life kind of reverberating in your mind. As you all wake up in the morning. If anyone wants to roll their hit dice for a long rest, you can do so now.
Ooh.
You would very much like to do that, please.
After you do so, you will then be able to regain half your hit dice back.
I don't need to recover them. I don't need to use them because, fortunately, Asja.
Nice healing magic. That does the trick.
Yeah. So when you're recovering half, is it half rounded up or rounded down?
Round it up.
Rounded up.
I think that's what I said last
2
time.
out of 3, I get 2 back.
Yes. We'll say that. As you all kind of smell the morning air, the little bit of the scent of some sort of meal cooking down below, probably some more stormbird eggs, you all saunter down to the morning of the 30th of Verdendis. It is race day, and there is a excitement in the air with just a couple more. You see more patrons here than you have the last few days. So maybe a couple other people also are here waiting for the races to begin. You know that the races don't actually start until around sunset, so you have the first part of the day here to do what you please. But you all kind of gather around a table and start to have a morning breakfast.
Okay.
These eggs are quite good.
Yes. And by the way, Rhukkarrak, I am very sorry about what happened yesterday. I was feeling a bit more tired than I would like to admit. And perhaps my mood wasn't the best. I realize my words were very harsh.
Yeah, I can understand a little. my life wasn't directly affected as much as maybe yours, by war and destruction. So the raw anger that you had really surprised me. But I appreciate you taking an effort to see it from others' perspectives. So apology accepted.
Yes. I guess you will someday understand that my life is war. Or at least it has been war for the most part. So... Anyways, I'm sorry, Rukka. If you don't mind, I also realize that I have been, in some sense, laying my weight on your back, which is not fair. So, I guess being here in Elendor, my gold is my responsibility. If you don't mind, I would like my part back. I won't burden you with it anymore.
I don't mind carrying it, but sure. It's been a while. Was it? I know we had the 10 platinum.
Yes, something like that.
And then there was another payment.
I think it was altogether 200 gold because you got 10 or 100 each pretty much from the Typhons, and then you also got paid for going down from the captain. So around 20 platinum.
I can tell you Rhukkarrak doesn't remember all that. Does Maldorwen remember all that?
He'll say, you can give me 10 platinum. That sounds about right.
I mean, I know it was more than that because it was 10 platinum for the one job. I don't remember what the other one was.
What do you think it was? Like 50 gold, 10 platinum? Somewhere about.
I'll just roll a history to see how better he remembers it.
I mean, it is a little distorted because for us as players, it was well over a month ago. For Rhukkarrak, it was literally 2 days ago.
Hey. He's substance thin. He is not great with math.
That's true. He's been through a lot in these last 2 days. That's true.
You think that would affect his memory a little bit?
He's substance thin. He's worried about many other things. But yeah, okay. Oh, I mean, rolled 17. He remembers. Oh yeah, so it was. I think it was about 100 gold actually. Let me get it. Yeah, so he gives you the 10 platinum and 100 gold.
Thank you again, Rhukkarrak, and sorry.
Lennon approaches the table with a few storm brews, some Tylenol for Euan, and a couple of things of tea and whatnot, and some more food here and there. Just kind of checks up on you all. Today's the race day. You all ready?
No. What is the best places to see the race?
Well, the best place is the Tideway Arena, but it gets quite crowded, as pretty much the entire city flocks there during the race itself. The race, at least I believe, comes up through the main canals as well, so anywhere alongside the canals you'll be able to see some of it. They have quite the spectacle at the arena, though, with illusory magic and whatnot to give you more insight of what is actually happening with the race. So if you fancy yourself wanting to watch the whole thing, that would be the best place to do so.
Do you have to pay gold for the entrance there?
Yes, you do.
The
The race
Elendor
is
way.
only one day, correct?
Correct. It's just today.
So if we did want to see it, we could. So that most of the people are going to be at the arena, and then or along the main canals.
The main canals, yes, you get a glimpse of them racing by, but probably not all the commentary and whatnot.
Ah,
Euan kind of grimaces a little bit as he takes a sip of his Tylenol, and his brow furrows. I still don't like this. There's something that we're missing. By the way, Rhukkarrak, I didn't get a chance to tell you yesterday. Nice shot on that Leviathan.
oh, thank you.
You're quite welcome. It feels like we're missing something. There's something. I don't like that I can't figure it out.
Aladdin, what time do the races start?
Right around sunset. I don't know the exact time, but usually when they get going. If you want to go to the arena, I would recommend going maybe a few hours early to get good seats.
Are things still open until the boat races happen?
They start to close down pretty soon. If you have some errands to run, I would recommend you do so as soon as possible.
I do. Have
Speaking
something
of
that I need
errands.
to do.
Sorry, Asja.
It's fine.
Lennon, were you able to get my letter to Derion?
Oh yes, that is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Yes, Therion did show up yesterday sometime. I believe you guys were out there. The conversation was conversed. The letter was given, and I believe he took it to the Lendor Sky puzzles.
Okay, thank you
So
very
it
much.
should be on its way.
Great news.
Well, you all enjoy your morning. If you need anything, let me know. And he heads off back to help some other patrons.
Euan will kind of call after him. You might want to bring a couple more glasses of Tylenol with you. It's a rough morning.
He just gives like a knowing nod.
All right. So, how do we intend to go after this?
I would really, really like to know more about this Zatriel. Is that the merchant's name?
Aeon Tratriel? Yes, I believe so. The one who is a council member.
Yes. Because it struck me last night after we parted ways. Because if it was his family that supposedly brought the primal essence, the Froststone.
Ember.
Oh, wait, Emberstone. Okay. If it was his family, and if the temple is where it came from, as we kind of thought, then he would probably be one of the few people that know about those caves and their potential vulnerability to the city. And he may be acting like he wants to trade with the Kazdurum, but only invited them here so that they could take the fall for whatever else he is planning on doing.
But here's what I don't understand. I'm sorry, did you have something to say, Asya?
She kind of looks up at this point at all of you, and you guys will notice something. Her plate hasn't been touched. She's just kind of pushed the food around with her fork. No. I have something I need to do this morning before we do anything else, but I think looking into this council member would be a very good idea. I
You-
don't think it's the Kazdurum. I can't believe I'm saying that. But let's just say that for other reasons that I left my city, I have been tasked with something.
I think I would tend to agree with you that it's not the Kazdurum.
It's coming
Either way.
from somewhere within this city. But we are outsiders. What, we've been here for 3 days now? The people
Aye.
we know the best are Lenin and the captain and each other. We've been so busy looking at the other things, blinded by the distractions that have been going on, that we failed to look in the one very obvious place where it might have been coming from. Within the actual chicken coop itself.
So,
Either
Euan, did you
way.
have a plan? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Either way, I know not all of you are going to like hearing this. But if we leave the Kesdorm where they are, they're going to die. We looked at their camp yesterday. Those of you who are from the north, I am assuming you have not experienced Embervale from down here, where it gets quite warm. They did not seem to be prepared to take on Embervale. And if whatever happens today happens, well, I don't think the city will open their gates to them to keep them protected. Actually, in fact, I have a feeling that if the plan of whoever is doing this works properly, I don't think they will make it off that beach.
You make an interesting point, little one. Though it pains me to see you not really touching your plate. This must be weighing awfully heavily on you. But it does make me think. And the biggest question that I have, does this merchant really stand to gain anything by making everyone think that the Kazdurum are at fault? The way that I look at this, if the Kazdurum come in and something happens, he's at fault for wanting to deal with the Kazdurum. No matter what the option is, whether it be he wants to trade and something happens, or he brought them in to cause a diversion and something happens, it all falls back on him. If it falls back on him, what does he actually stand to gain? With it being common knowledge to the other council members that he's interested in trading with the Kazdurum. The only person who would stand to gain something from this is someone trying to undermine the merchant, possibly for his seat within the council, or any other nefarious reasons that I could put forward. The speculation doesn't really do much to help. But he stands to gain nothing.
Yes, and the people we know, at least, seem to be all just caught in the middle of it, like Lenin, for example. Or actually just trying to help, like the captain. So, I mean, as Asja said, we are foreigners here. I am an editor of my city. My job is to watch over Kertas. And not even I would say that I know every corner of it. For now, what can we do, really?
It feels like we're missing a big piece that's just out in the open, yet it's somehow eluding us. There has to be some reason why someone would plot for this, choose this time. This is something. That's assuming that I'm not just a paranoid dragon and think that something is going to happen. Everything is too perfect. When you have too many coincidences, it's no longer a coincidence.
If you wanted to pull a heist, let's say, on the city that you knew had magical protections that would come up at a certain point, much like inferno wasps, if you hit their nest, they get very angry on the inside. But if you've blocked the hole for them to leave, they start stinging each other. And you, then, don't have a problem, because all of the wasps are fighting each other, so you can collect what you want to collect. No one's the wiser, because all of the wasps are still fighting with it amongst each other. And you get out. Then what happens? All of the wasps are stuck inside the nest, and they continue to fight each other, blinded to the fact that the actual thief, or the person that has disturbed them, is long gone.
The question is who laid the egg in the chicken coop that is now a wasp nest?
How do we get information?
Well, Elendor seems to go the way that gold goes. So we do have some gold to collect from the Leviathan hunters. Lennon said that we should make haste to perhaps run errands. So I think it would be a good idea to go after that. A little gold may go a long way in this city, it seems.
DM, if I can ask, about how long of a boat trip is it to where we moored for the Khazdurim?
That was like 3.5 hours. It was a decent voyage outside the city.
That's a bit much to try to do and get back this morning, unfortunately.
Yeah, it took pretty much your entire day yesterday to go there and back.
We need to try to get... If we are all in agreement that the Khazdurim are not, or at least most of us are in agreement that the Khazdurim are not at the root of this, we need to get word to them so maybe they can try to make it back to a place of safety before Embervale.
I have been tasked to protect them, as I said. I cannot explain more than that to any of you. I'm sorry. I don't know you well enough. You will just have to trust me that this is something I must do. If the city will not accept them and they have nowhere safe to go, I will send them to my home.
So now the question is, do we go to the Khazdurim and give them a warning? Or do we try to figure out what's going on in here, deal with it from in here, and then go out and meet the Khazdurim?
What would we warn them about? We still know nothing.
I say we take today in the city. Let's not leave the city again. If something is going to happen and we miss seeing or hearing or something, what's going to happen? That could set us back greatly, and then make us look very suspicious. We have to remember, the Storm Wardens have told us, well, ordered us, in fact, to not help. So we cannot arouse their suspicions.
And to answer your
Right.
question, Rhukkarrak... Oh, I'm sorry, Elsie, I didn't mean to cut
No.
you off.
It's all right.
To answer your question, Rhukkarrak, we might not know everything that's going on, but we do know enough to give a warning that they are about to be blamed for something that is happening. that someone is using them as a convenient distraction, or a convenient excuse, rather, because they are here and they have the unfortunate circumstance of existing too close to the point of danger.
Could we not just send a note with a stormbird?
Potentially.
Stormbirds are usually trained to go to specific locations. I don't exactly think there is one trained to go to that specific beach.
And I unfortunately doubt we're going to find any Khazdorim sympathizers here within the city walls to try to find someone to meet them with a message from us. And quite frankly, if a random person appeared in front of me and said, "Hey, these people who you haven't met are telling you that you need to move," well, you've met one of them, are telling you that you need to move because it might be dangerous, I would immediately grow suspicious.
We cannot rush this. Let's take the day in the city. Go and gather the money. That is a good plan, because as I am learning about this world that I do not fit in, money seems to be very important in it. I need to go to the Bastion. There is something I need to do there. Perhaps I can leave a message for Gronk. He seemed to be different from the other Storm Wardens. He had more of a curiosity. Maybe he will listen about the Khazdorim.
I can come with you if you'll allow it. Or if I can.
If you wish to, I just have to go through a whole lot of bureaucracy. I have the letter that the captain gave me that should get me through the door, but then I have to see if they're even going to give me the information that I want. I am starting to realize as she looks down at herself, I don't exactly look the part that I play back in my city, according to these people. Maybe if I too had fancy crown on my head, they would take me more seriously. But instead, I have fancy lizard.
And a better crown than ever was. Isn't that right, Rupert? And Euan will reach over and sort of scratch Rupert under the chin.
It just flickers out and he does a smile.
Wait, Asja, are you some kind of queen?
No. But I am, I guess in this world you would say I am one of the... We don't really have leaders per se in our... We more have those that have been chosen by the one that protects our home. It's hard to explain, but...
So you're more like a shaman?
Shaman, or as in Elendor, I guess I would be council person. If you want to say. But yes, back at home it would be closer to shaman. I am more responsible for the more spiritual side of things. So, as joke goes, generally Asya's face is first one you get to see when you are born and last one you see when you die.
Or first you get to see when you're heavily injured, but...
But that too.
Well, I mean, back in my home day, we didn't have kings or queens. I was more familiar with shaman. So, makes more sense to me anyway.
That is probably closer term to what my responsibilities are, yes. I do not make choices on many things. I more just have the knowledges of life and death instead of the elements as others do. It works for us, but we are only there to make decisions that one person can only make when it comes to more decisions, well, our city is still small enough that everyone has a voice. We meet in, pardon me, we meet in the dining hall and we have discussions and debates, and that's how we do things. Everyone where I'm from has the same voice, except for in some things that really only one person can make. And as for going to the Bastion, if you want to, you can. But I would like to get it done before whatever happens and the Bastion turns into maybe somewhere that the captain's letter will not even get me through the front door anymore. I have a feeling that when whatever happens does, that place is going to be, what is the word? Chaotic?
Maldorwen, you're the first to notice. As you've just been kind of listening to this, eating a little bit of your breakfast, there's a hooded figure that has been paying attention to your guys' conversation. And almost, you get the intent from them that they are going to start approach. As they do so, this kind of lithe kind of figure kind of quickly comes up to the table here, and in a hushed voice kind of looks at you all. You don't really see their face or any really details from the cowl that is kind of cloaking them. Then they look towards Rhukkarrak. You all know a lot. During the race, be at the Glass Glade. You didn't hear this. And they step away.
Does Ruka recognize this person?
No. You don't recognize the voice. You don't get a good visual. You can see a little bit clearer than the others, and feminine in form, but you don't recognize them, no.
Do they have any recognizable symbols or
Go ahead and just roll a perception check for me.
items? Perception. That would be natural 20 for 23.
Oh my god.
Excellent.
That's what let's go. Just the vibe, the cloak is similar to what you encountered on the previous night, or the 2 days ago. If you had to guess, you would assume this would be someone involved with the other individual.
That is what he suspected. Yeah, he's just gonna not say anything and let the person leave. And then once they're gone, he'll turn to the party.
And it was pretty obvious too that she made like more contact, like eye contact with Rhukkarrak.
Do I
A man
have
of
to
many
get a
conquests, I
bard
see.
and candles for you too? Oh, by the way, later on, she leans over and kind of leans closer to Euan and to Ruka. I have to tell you, Maldorwen, the captain, went up to his room. She giggles slightly.
Well done, Maldorwen. He
How
kind of
did
says,
that go?
yep, under his breath.
But anyway, we will probably have to talk about that later. This, I don't know who that is, but if they are associated with who I think they are, they could be trouble.
Who do you think they're associated with?
the less savory side of the city.
Interesting.
So the sweet side? She's honestly, validly looking confused and asking you
Euan
an honest
lightly
question.
places his hand on your shoulder, Asja, and gives you a light squeeze, conveying all the emotion of, oh, bless your heart, as he answers, that would be much nicer, except he means, let's say, the underbelly of the city, thieves' guilds, and other such things.
Although they could be a good source of information. I don't know what the cost will be.
I was just gonna slide her book out of her bag, and whoever's closest to her is gonna see her just scribble the words Thieves Guild, ? Ask about this later. Put it book away. Underbelly.
If we're going to have any sort of interaction with the underbelly of the city, I would say you should probably spearhead that Rhukkarrak. They seem familiar with you at least, and I'm going to assume you have some sort of sway within.
I would not make such an assumption. He's just gonna kind of look around, make sure no one else is listening in, and kind of lower his voice. I've already tried to get information about death energy, as I discussed before, and it did not go well.
I see. Probably for the best, if we're going to be very honest with ourselves. Death energy is nothing to really be messing around with or actively seeking out. As I know too well. Still,
Well, as I said before, I would really like to know how to get rid of it or move it somewhere else or something.
That's right.
Jeez.
My apologies, I forgot.
I know it is dangerous because I've had to live with it for most of my life. But if no one is willing to discuss it, then sometimes you have to, as he kind of glances the direction the lady left, find other ways to get information.
Well, next time I suggest maybe going to somewhere like Tideswept Sanctuary and asking people there who deal with death energy on how they cleanse death energy. At least that's how I was planning on doing it, because I know how I do it at home when we sometimes have accidents. Not everybody that lives there is Gemborn Elf, so it's not like I can just look at your necklace and go, oh, you've got 3 days left, let's have party. So that was my plan, was to go to Tideswept to ask them when they have what do they do about cleaning up, and starting to research that way. So if you wanted to share that information, it seems that your city and my city, and I assume Euan's city as well, it would benefit all of us, so... I kind of understand it, so...
I've already been to many cities and looked at the death rituals of various people, but this is not I need to deal with a few dead people. This is thousands of dead orc death energy trapped in a cave.
Yes.
That is...
We are talking about the same. Mythendrel was once one of the largest elven cities of the eastern coast. There is only handfuls of people who survived from Mythendrel.
Yes, but it is trapped in the cave. It's warping the creatures and the plants, making it even more dangerous, and more people are dying. And it is a self-feeding system. If we could better understand how to move it around or control it or something, I don't know.
You want to control the death energy? Why don't you just want to clean it?
Well, how would you clean it without being able to move it? It's not. I don't know. Maybe there is something that can just absorb ridiculous amounts of death energy and fix the problem. But I have not found anything remotely close to that.
No, I think if there was something like that, we would have heard about it a long time ago. Hence, you have to look into the mysteries. That's part of the fun.
Yes,
As for being stuck in cave or being stuck in forest, I think Euan can probably tell you that around Mythendrel, very same as your cave. Warped creatures, very nasty things, landscape changed.
I almost lost my life, and I lost the lives of two of my dear friends near the ruins of Mythendrel. Sorry,
That's how I met him. He
How
came
you met
into-
what was left of me.
Mhm.
But much is the same in what used to be my city. The entire forest to the north is rife with death energy that runs rampant. Everyone knows the danger of that forest. Didn't always used to be like that. And then the Khazdorim attacked. No.
Either way, sitting here talking, our cities basically have all had the same fate. Whether by same hands or not, I don't know. Seeing as you seem to be friendly with Khazdorim, do not think that Khazdorim were responsible for your city. Or maybe you are a stronger person with forgiveness than some of us are.
No, I know who is responsible. It was the Drakthir.
Euan just kind of looks around for a minute.
As she
Sorry
looks
to
at
hear
Euan.
that. I can assuredly say I had nothing to do with that, but I am sorry that my people would do something like that.
No, it was the northern Drakthir. Ones of frost and ice. Blue in scale.
My people are all of fire. So it makes me feel a little better, I guess.
The few Drakthir that live in my city are also of the red variety. That's why I was very surprised at Euan. I do like the green though. I do wish there were more. Anyways, we are wasting time. We should probably go collect the money from the Leviathan Hunters. At least that money that we're going to collect. Maybe we can collectively agree that we will use that as our please talk to us money. Euan, if you want to come with me to the Bastion, that might not be a bad idea. It's probably a good idea for us not to go places alone.
Should we all go together? Or do you think it'd be too much?
I think too much. I think maybe we separate for this thing. You and Maldorwen, if you don't have problems, go and get the coins. And then I will take Euan as more. Look, I have protection. I come with guards. And then hopefully get paperwork? I don't know. And then we can meet up. I wish I knew this city better. Okay, the bastion is over here, and the docks are further down by the market. What if we meet... What if we meet back at the Tide chapter? That way we can at least... We can ask the captain some more questions. I at least trust the captain. And if anything, she would know about the people of her city, one would think. Or at least be able to maybe point us in directions of the... Okay, so if it's the underbelly, it is not the backside, right? Of the shoulders of the city. There we go.
The underbelly is referring to the darker, more... Well, some would just call it evil. It is not necessarily. It is more... working outside of the law. Not in the same rules as the city. So it
That's
must
why
be
I
in
do
secret.
not understand.
Aye. But there's not a large city that can survive without one. It is less than savory for sure, but necessary.
Well, regardless, I would like to scope out this glass glade long before
I do think going to the glass glade was a good idea, but I still think that maybe we should... What Maldorwen said last night to the captain, maybe we can escort him or something for this council person, or somehow be able to get close to him. It's very easy to take other people's words for things, but sometimes when you're trying to judge a person and their character, actually hearing their words with your own ears and being able to speak to them more helps with this. Does that make sense?
Yes, but...
And if we want to maybe try and... Well, I don't know, maybe the shady person there that just came up to us, maybe they're the one that is going to prove that he is not responsible. I don't know, but up to Glassglade.
You still have that map, don't you, Rhukkarrak? How close
No,
is
Maldorwen had the map.
Yes, it's Maldorwen who has the map.
Right. I would be interested in seeing how close this Glassglade is to the Tide chapter, or if there's a more central meeting place that we can all meet after our respective tasks have been completed.
Well, if they said to go to the Glassglade during the race, I would like to scope it out this morning to make sure that I'm familiar with it. See if there's anything suspicious ahead of time.
I would agree.
And if we are going to be at the Glassglade during the race, I don't think we can be around this Zatriel to guard him during the race. So we either need to split up or do one or the other.
I don't think it would be wise to split.
No, I do not think so.
And quite frankly, the intel that that cloaked figure gave us is the single best piece of intel that we've been able to gather so far. And I would be willing to bite on that.
All right, so why don't we go... Euan and I will go to the Bastion. You and Mal go and collect the money. And then why don't we meet at Glass Glade?
I
looks at
do-
the map. What about this place right here on the map? We meet at this docking point. I don't know.
I do have a unique talent for going unnoticed. But it would be less useful if I had noticeable companions.
I also don't know how wise it is for any of us to go around alone right now. You might
No,
have
I-
a bit of an advantage being able to remain unseen, but
I
anything...
would definitely appreciate having someone nearby that could help me out, for sure. But it
But if you promise not to get so many hurts today, I could go with you. I know it seems like maybe I would be the one to draw the most attention, but I do have the ability to go completely unseen.
well, I mean, we could both be there and pretend not to know each other and just lend support if something happens.
Oh, that's fine as well. Sorry, I thought you meant being all sneaky, and I was trying to say that through my magic I can make myself not seen at all.
Realistically, Maldorwen or Asja would be the best ones to accompany you to look at that, even if they were accompanying you from a distance with their ranged capabilities. I'm not one for ranged combat myself, in case that hasn't been glaringly obvious in our last few fights.
Oh, but you are very helpful at keeping things at bay. And I think it would be good if Maldorwen and I just quickly go and scope out the Glass Glade and then meet up. And we can meet up at the Tide chapter and discuss what we want to do next. While you two, so we can go get the money and then go check out the Glass Glade, unless you would like to do that together.
Well, why not?
while
Why
you're-
not this then? Why not we go Bastion, you go Glass Glade, and check it out, and then we meet at the money.
I like
That
it.
works.
That works for me.
Because
What
then
about
we are
you?
not going many different places and all the rest of that.
And we should all have enough money in our person to be able to grease some palms if necessary.
Yes. Maldorwen, do you have any objections?
I think it's fine.
All right. So you all
Uh,
finish up your
Are
breakfast.
you fine?
Asja will take a couple of bites of her breakfast as she's starting to feel a little bit better.
And then head out, splitting up a little bit. The bastion is within, or at least right next to the Glass Glade, so you're kind of together for the most part before you then split off. Rhukkarrak and Maldorwen heading deeper within the Glass Glade itself, and Euan and Asja, who we will follow first, heading to the grandiose, probably the largest. It's hard because there's the Frostfire Citadel right next to it, and the Tempest Bastion that make up the center of the city here. And both of them are quite towering structures. They make the large landmark here in the city. I think the Bastion is just a little bit taller, though, from what you can see here, than the Citadel itself. And it's very elegant, but it's also very sturdy and looks very functional as a building as you get closer to it. As you approach, you can see the bustle of the city is still very lively, and even more so this morning hour, as everybody's going about doing their business before the big race. You can see different canals are starting to be closed off in preparations for the race. So people are having to make different routes, and it's causing a little bit of traffic in some places and whatnot. But you eventually make your way towards the bastion there. and cross over through the glass glade. As you approach the doors, you can see several different storm wardens kind of buzzing around, doing different activities and whatnot, getting prepared for the day as well. They all look very intentful and purposeful in what they're doing, and kind of hold themselves in the higher regard as they are on duty. But you do arrive as the large kind of doors kind of swing open before you, revealing the vast expanse of the Vigil Hall, as it's called. Towering arches of storm-tempered stone reach skywards, etched with glowing prayers to the elemental winds. A mural of Elendor, encased in the primal barrier, a geometric dome encasing the city, sketched across the wall, its vibrant hues seeming to ripple like the shield itself. The hum of magic kind of fills the air in here, as you see a junior warden move with purpose behind what seems to be a reception desk at the hall center. A spiral staircase kind of rises majestically. Alongside it, there are these floating platforms that kind of just rise up and down, almost untethered. As you can see, some wardens kind of step on them and they float up towards higher in the central. As the bastion itself it's very tall. It's not super wide, but there's a lot of layers to it. But you do see the main kind of reception area there, as there are a few other people. There's a little bit of a line, but I don't think it'll take long to wait in this line.
Alright, well, Asja is going to take a moment to take it all in, and Euan will notice that her jaw is a little bit open. It is very big in here. Oh boy.
It's a little much for me, to be very honest, but I get it. A show of wealth and all that. Wealth and power.
Although I would like to know how they do those platforms. That would be very helpful back at home. And so many stairs. And she'll head towards the line up to go for the reception.
Okay. It's also one thing that you do notice just sitting here in line, the contrast between the interior here of the Tempest Bastion and the rest of the city. It is very orderly. Everyone is going about with purposeful intent. Where outside, especially with the markets just south of here, are very bustling and busy and kind of chaotic in a sense. Here, it is still very busy, but very orderly. As you wait a few minutes, nothing too long, before you're up next. As the clerk there looks to be a younger elven individual, kind of shaggy hair falls to the side. As they call out to you, "Oh, what can I help you with?"
I have two things. One, I am hoping that your city has kept good records. I am trying to get records of the possible names of the refugees that would have come through about 78 years ago from Mythendrel.
78 years, that's quite some time. Records, we have lots of records. We can probably help you with that. Do you have any sort of permission? You gotta keep them on lock unless there's a reason.
Well, if need be, then I can give you the list of names that I come from. I come from a place where we are the survivors of Mythendrel. We are trying to find our family members. If you
that's
have
quite
this
fascinating.
list, yes. If you cannot give me this list, then maybe I can give you list, which means that all of the work will then fall onto your shoulders to maybe look up names for me.
What we can do is I can put in an order and you could talk to someone and make sure that whatever your intent is with this information is good. If you haven't got any rite of passage or anything like that, let me start to write up this form that you can fill out. As I say, you do remember the captain did give you a letter for this.
Oh, wait. Here. I thought this was to get through the door. Maybe this letter will help?
Oh, Dawnward Sentinels. Let me read this. Kind of opens it, breaking the seal. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this will do. This will do. Should have led with this. As I kind of go back and start
Sorry, I thought it was for door, but they just let us in.
going through a bunch of different files as they're kind of away from the counter for a moment. As they kind of then come over to a different room. I'm going to have to go to the back. This information's quite old. We should have it back there, though. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And you do some more waiting. As,
Euan, does this make you uncomfortable? This place makes me feel very uncomfortable.
I am used to much different claims than this myself. Too claustrophobic. I prefer being out in the nature myself.
They seem very controlled.
You'd hate to see you'd hate to see information fall into the hands of the wrong people. I understand it to a degree.
Well, no, even just look around. The way they walk with purpose. They know exactly where they're going. Nobody is stopping to say hi to anybody else. Everybody is just doing exactly what they need to do. Like little colony of ants or something. Like everybody has purpose and nobody stops to do anything else. Everybody does their purpose. Very interesting.
You are kind of surveying the people going around. You do notice a familiar face who then meets eyes with yours and then starts walking towards you. Well, look who it is. Guys, what you guys doing here?
Well, number one, I was looking for information, but number two, I was looking for you.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
I see.
If
Well,
you have
I'm here.
a few minutes, I can see that. If you have a few minutes, could we talk? Maybe somewhere.
I think we could arrange something like that.
Excellent. Maybe somewhere a little more private would be good.
Okay, we could go to my office. That says something we could do.
Excellent. Well, we are just waiting for little shaggy-haired fellow to come back, and then
As yeah,
I
the
guess
other
we will
individual
go to your office.
does come back. All right, here is. It's not a very big list, but we did get an accountant of the at least people who came in from Mithrandale when it first got attacked. Here you go. And hands it over
Thank
to
you.
That's a copy, by the way, so you can keep it. Anything else?
Appreciate it. No, actually, second thing I needed found us. And she points at Gronk. But thank you.
Well, perfect. Well, you guys have a good day. Enjoy the races, and next. Alrighty, well.
Place.
Nice to see you too, Silvas. We're gonna head off now. And Gronk starts to lead you over to the staircase.
All right.
So, you guys still been investigating? Whatever this Tidefin stuff is. You guys hear about it? The frickin' Khazad-dûm. They were involved.
We
feel
should
like
get
I always
to your
knew it.
office. Let's go talk
Deep in my
your
heart.
office, Gronk. Gronk,
We
I
should
didn't
be
wanna
at your
believe it.
office.
Right. Okay.
Where's your office? Let's go.
Just up a few floors.
Perfect. Let's
Oh
go.
boy. You two go on ahead, I'll have to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah, we could take one of these. As he steps towards one of the descending platforms that kind of just sort of shimmers with a little bit of arcane energy as it sets down on the floor itself. And he steps onto it, and you can see he starts to move his hands in a way to cast some sort of spell, as the platform then ignites with some more energy, as it then starts to slowly raise up with you all on it. And it's a little... There's not really barriers here, and so there's a little bit of vertigo that starts to happen the higher you climb. But you just see these murals just painted on the walls of this tower, different like paintings of what you can imagine were important storm wardens of the past or whatnot. As you rise up towards, you see one level where you see a couple storm wardens like duking it out in like a really intense training, like wind kind of flying across them, and just some sort of training resume that they were practicing here. As you then rise up another level. Alright, this is where we need to go. Is it then docks near one of the like bridges that comes out from the stairs itself. As you then step off of it. Just right over here. You then enter Gronk's little office here. And it's not super large, but there's the things that a detective would need. Because there's like a wall of papers with like strings and lines attached to stuff, trying to make connections of what's going on. So, you guys are the ones that found that pickaxe down there, right? Thank goodness. Cannot believe they got that close to the city.
Gronk, you need to listen to us.
All right.
Not with your prejudices. You need to listen to what we have to say.
I got my ears
Officially-
wide open.
Good. Officially, we have been following the orders of your leader and not helping at all in this situation. At all.
Oh, you guys met
Unofficially-
Calareth. You're kind of yeah,
He is not a very
little bit stern, that guy is.
I don't know if the word would be stern. Maybe it would be a word that I don't say very often, but we'll go with stern. Anyways, unofficially, she makes sure the door is closed on the office. Unofficially, we went to the beach yesterday.
Oh, is that so? So you actually went and met these individuals, eh?
One of us did. The other three of us.
And
Because we
Calareth
felt
told you
the
not to
same
go,
as-
and you went anyways?
No, he tells us not to help anymore in this situation, but
Right.
look.
Let me do something real quick.
No,
We
you
just
need
know
to
each other very little, and
Gronk.
this should help. As he starts to start taking at something, some words muttered under his breath. Just, I'll know if you resist. As a pulse of kind of energy flows through the room. You both need to make charisma saving throws or choose to fail it.
I'll choose to fail it.
That's a failure anyways with the, what is
That's
it,
fine.
total 12?
12,
Okay.
sorry.
You just feel like warmth within your stomach, and you are now affected by the spell's own truth. You can no longer utter, at least in this brief moment, a lie. You can choose not to speak, but you cannot lie. Not willingly, at least.
She never does anyways.
Krog doesn't know that.
Waste of spell!
So, sorry about that. Just, want to make sure that we're all on the same page, actually. So, what did you find out in the campsite there? They ready to break down our doors?
There are a bunch of traders with families. They have children on the beach.
Oh, that's, not at all what I thought you were going to say there.
They were very happy to trade with the one party member who was willing to walk across the beach to go and meet with them.
We also got to watch them run away from some giant, what are they
Quake
called?
shells.
Quake shells, crab
Quake
things.
shells.
Which is quite amusing, actually.
They're also very underprepared for Embervale coming.
So, you truly believe that they're not here to cause any harm? They just actually want to trade?
I believe that they are here as a distraction for a bigger problem that you have a problem within your city.
This is quite interesting indeed. As he goes over to one of the boards and starts pinning some stuff in different directions. So, what's up with the pickaxe then? If they're not here to do anything but trade, why did they let Tidefits into the city?
I don't think
They
did.
didn't.
I think
But,
the Khazdurim being on the beach are a convenient excuse. I think they're a convenient scapegoat for whatever is
They're a
actually
distraction.
going on.
You guys
The name
didn't
of
find
whatever
that
this
pickaxe
is.
down there then?
We did, but also the person that went to go and meet the Khazdurim bought the exact same pickaxe from them yesterday and said that they told him that some elf also went out to beach and bought pickaxe. And when the person from our group went to ask them about the sea silk, which we also found down there, they have no idea what sea silk is. None.
There was some sea silk down there?
There was some sea silk down there, yes.
That wasn't
A
in the
small
report.
scrap.
Huh. This is quite interesting. Can I have both of you roll just charisma checks for me?
Great, because Euan's great.
Or
at those.
let's say persuasion.
That's only a little bit better. 6.
I'm using my inspiration.
Okay.
Oh. I'll wait until you use yours to use mine, because I feel like it's important.
Oh,
That's
right.
right. 21.
21. Very nice.
Let's go!
You can see it definitely, like, Gronk's mood has changed quite a bit. Very more concerned. Similar to almost how you saw him when he first, you told him of, like, the hole you found. But even more, like, intensity. This is quite concerning.
At first we thought there was a possibility that this merchant that was wanting them to come in was involved. But I've gone over the pieces in my head so many times, he stands nothing to gain from this. It doesn't matter what the situation is, it is known he wants to trade with them. He is the one vying for them to come into the city. If they come in and something happens, he's at fault. No matter what avenue is taken, if the Khazdurim are involved, he is at fault. The only person who would stand to gain something is someone trying to undermine him.
There was This is interesting. The other day, I overheard something I probably shouldn't have. But it is my job as a detective. I feel like there's something very deeper going on here. Need to get to the root of it, quick.
What was it you overheard?
I can trust you guys, right? I mean, right now I know I can't, but...
Gronk, I've only met you one time, and you were the person I needed to come and talk to. I think you can trust us as much as we have trusted you by bringing you this information.
Alright, well here, just to soothe my worrying soul, if y'all could just say, I have no ill intent towards the city or its people.
I have no ill intent towards the city, and additionally, there are potentially lives at stake, and it is imperative that we are able to get to the bottom of this, and the more information we have and can share between each other, the better.
Gives a nod.
have no ill will towards your city. And I am here to protect the innocent people of your city.
Right. Big boss guy, Gallereth, who was, speaking with someone who was not a Star Warden. Some, booked individual. Couldn't hear much, but, just saying that he would make sure to bolster the defenses on the outside of the city. I don't know what it all means.
I wonder if it's any relation to the cloaked figure that
Bought the pickaxe?
bought the pickaxe.
That would be deeply concerning. If Gallereth is... Oh man. I don't like the
No,
idea of this.
So what motive would Kalarath have? What would he gain?
Now, one thing I do know is Gallereth hates Kazdorm. Like, he's got some major beef there.
Is Caloris from Elendor originally? Like, I don't understand.
No, he comes from, I believe Altari.
Oh,
I don't know his exact story, but I know he lost, the war had its toll on everyone, but some more than others.
I'll second that one.
Oh, I guess I third that one.
But does he have enough of a problem with the Kazdurim to undermine the council of the city because they suggested bringing the Kazdurim in? Would he go that far out of sheer hatred?
You know, I can't say. I'd hope not.
Or, in simple theory that I had last night, does he have enough motive to want to start the war again? You do know that if this goes badly, it's only been a short time since the last war.
Right. I don't think it would be in anyone's interest to start it back up again. It's a fire that needs to stay quenched.
Too many people are still reeling from the last.
If
But-
your people will not take them in, as I don't think they will,
I don't think
Then-
that's a possibility anymore.
I can take them somewhere safe, but
Unless
I'm going
we
to need... Do you have a weird
convince-
clicking in your office? There's a weird clicking happening in your office.
Oh, sorry,
Very
that's
strange.
just a message.
Okay.
Right, okay. We're good.
But I would need help to... I don't know how fast their ships could go. We would need to go up the coast a fair bit.
I mean, this
Because
is...
you are trusting me, and now I'm going to trust you. My city is very hidden. Very hidden. If we just sent them off with directions, there's a good chance that they would never make it. But if I can get help walking, it took us about 2.5 months, but we had to go around the mountains instead of just going over them. With the boats, we might be able to go up the coastline and straight through the woods. We would still be getting there at the beginning of Embervale, but things don't get really spicy there. Oh, now I get savory. Common. I'm not sorry. I'm not quite understanding common very well. It was something from this morning. We might be able to get them back to my city. If we can at least keep them safe, then maybe we can prevent maybe we can prevent something from happening again.
Well,
I can't get them there myself. I don't have the ability to get them there myself. And as I said, I don't know how fast their boats move.
not sure on
I
that
do.
either. I'm just trying to think if there's a way. I know that the council is a little bit divided on this topic of wanting to let them in. And that division got a little more one way when we found out that they brought in the tide fence, obviously. But now that this information's here...
I would assume the only way to get them into this city would be to absolutely prove their innocence and prove that there was a greater scheme.
Even
Right.
if you could
We need more
convince
proof.
people to... Even if you could... Okay. When does your barrier go up? Do we have time? Maybe tomorrow after races or something to go out there? We could...
Should be up to. I mean, the proper barrier doesn't go up until Embervale. Got a full month.
Perfect then. But if we could get out there, maybe you could come with us. Make it look a little bit more official, I don't know. But at the same time, we also have to make it that Calorit knows that we are not helping. We are not helping at all. Nope. I don't know. Maybe we could... no, I doubt you're going to get day off. If something is going to happen today at the boat races like we think, then I don't think you're going to get the day off tomorrow. I was going to say if you could get the day off tomorrow, then we could make it look like we were just going for a sail on the sea. Because I did ask you if you, when you were, if you wanted to.
I think we
Talk.
also need to find out who Gallarth was speaking to.
Well, we have plans for us today. Perhaps we can... You can do the snooping around the place that we are not exactly very welcome. And perhaps the reason why we are not so welcome is because we have been solving problems that perhaps were not supposed to be solved.
Right. I'll do some looking here. Try to see if I can uncover anything else.
One more question for you, Gronk, before we go, because we have to go meet our friends as well. How... Underneath the city, when we went down there, and we found the pickaxe and everything, there was a flooded temple.
That's what I heard.
Almost things like pictures on your walls almost, but different. But, who in the city would have that knowledge that was there? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure. I know there's currently a couple storm wardens down there investigating the runes themselves, trying to find its origins. But as far as my knowledge, it was unknown. Unless... I imagine the people who've been here the longest might know something, if anybody.
Well, you are a great detective, so I'm sure you will, if anybody, you will find information. But, as I said, we should probably go before we are seen by wrong people and we get you in trouble.
Probably a good idea. Gotta stay a little undercover. Weird, I don't think I've ever been undercover in my own, in the bastion here. Here, let me see you to the door. And, this all stinks. But in the best way possible. I do love good mystery. I just hope it doesn't come to anything, untoward. Alright, let's go.
Euan will stand up and walk over towards Gronk and intentionally not leaving the bounds of the zone of truth, will extend a hand to Gronk, nod to him, and just say, "You're a good man."
I'd like to say the same. I, again, don't know you guys that well, but what I've seen, do appreciate what you're doing. World could use more people like you.
And you as well, detective.
Kind of gives a nod after grasping and shaking your hand firmly. As you then make your way back out, descend down the elevator-esque arcane platform, and then are showed the door.
As they leave and get out of earshot, remember how I said I wanted to find out how those platforms moved because I thought it might be a good idea for my city instead of all the stairs? I like the stairs. The stairs are good. I don't want to go on those platforms ever again. Oh,
That was not quite pleasant.
I felt like I was going to be very sick. Oh, we should go to the dock now.
You did good in there. I'm proud of you.
That's all I can do. I did not think that I would be tasked to protect the Kazdorum.
The fates have a weird way, kind of a funny way of looping back around when you least expect it.
I am not sure if this is fate. Don't think so. I know who brought this to me. This is more... Some might call it a trial. I will call it a kind-hearted reminder. A test, almost.
They think you'll
We should
pass with flying colors.
Let's hope.
As we
I do have
shift,
to take them back home, though, trying to convince everybody at home that they're okay. Yeah, that might be a problem. And then we shift, sorry.
as we shift over to rewind a little bit to Rhukkarrak and Maldorwen, who just kind of stop a little bit more, like, because yet again the Tempest Bastion is just a little bit more south of the Glass Glade, and so now you're in the proper center of the Glass Glade here. The grandiose is impressive of these buildings. You've kind of, every time you've walked through the city, you've more or less taken the side roads, or canals in this case, and whatnot. Not fully in the actual Glass Glade here itself, but it is noble, it's posh. The air of this place is quite a bit different to even just across the main canal in Cinderville, where the Flaming Flagon kind of resides. There's less kind of vendors, and the vendors that are there are clothed a little more elegantly, and yeah, it is quite a little noble area here within the city. The buildings themselves are made of primarily like ember glass that glistens with the rising sun, Alamore, as it just kind of reflects colors around the entire portion of the city here. And you do see there are more Storm Warden activity here, but not a ton. You see them a little more frequently than you have in other parts of the city.
Okay. Well, before they left, Rhukkarrak got an extra change of clothes that he has never worn in the city as of yet. And as they're walking along, he is going to just kind of be looking for a small, completely unoccupied alleyway.
There's not a whole lot of discrete places here. A lot of the buildings here are like noble houses, and they're kind of built up and guarded and whatnot. There's any like alleyways between them is a like canal that goes through them, so you can kind of go ahead.
Like you say, what about before they even got to the glass glade?
There is, yeah, in the Cinderville, there's all kinds of areas like that, but there's the 20, 25, 30 foot canal, the main canal there, that kind of breaks up the Cinderville and the glass glade. So it'd be more difficult to make any keen perception from the other side of there.
Oh, no. He just wants to find a quiet place to change clothes.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
You could have even just changed clothes before you even left.
He does not want to leave the inn in these clothes.
Okay.
Because he does not want it to be associated with him as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as they're going along, he's just gonna talk to Maldorwen a little bit.
Before that,
Mhm.
as Rhukkarrak is going on his own to get changed, Maldorwen is gonna stop at one of the bridges, and as he's waiting for Rhukkarrak, he's going to take out his Sunward Sentinel symbol, and he's gonna start looking at it, playing with it, passing it in between his fingers, and thinking about what has happened and what the captain said as he waits.
Okay.
Okay, well, before he's actually going to get changed, he just wanted to talk to Maldorwen a little bit beforehand, kind of to prep him. Just be like, so Maldorwen, I'm planning on changing in alleyway here, so it's I'm going to be very different when I come back. I have a particular curse that well, it was very useful for sneaking into the Drakthir city. Once I got a little control over it. Just, well, you'll see. And, yeah, he'll disappear into the alleyway.
Okay. For viewers' sake, this is the downward symbol that kind of Maldorwen's playing with. Little pendant that looks like that. And sword behind, or a sun behind a sword.
So Rhukkarrak will change clothes, and he will transform. His shape will morph a little bit. His face will elongate. He'll start to get a tail and have very dull blue scales across his entire body as he transforms into a Drakthir. And it comes out of the alleyway.
And if you didn't know where Rhukkarrak went, Maldorwen, you would probably not recognize this individual as Rhukkarrak, because it's a complete shift.
Okay, so he's just like playing with the symbol as if it were a coin, not even knowing that it's Rhukkarrak.
So, Maldorwen.
Who are you? Do I know you?
Yes, you do. I am Ruka.
Ah. I see. That was quite a change.
Yes, well, it's very useful for when I do not want to be recognized.
I don't know if I would call it a curse, though. You look more like Euan, and he's very handsome.
I would rather not have this form. Anyway, just like I said, we don't know each other, but I want you to know in case something goes wrong, we can help each other out.
Yes. I am realizing that we do not know each other, Rhukkarrak.
Anyway, I will be investigating. We'll just make sure that we're in eyesight of each other. And like, he has his accent has changed and everything. Like, he sounds a lot more. He sounds like a completely different person as well. Anyway, we should probably get going.
All right. So as you make your way to the glass glade, what are you going to do? How are you going to survey this area?
Yeah, I think Maldorwen would ask Rhukkarrak. So, what is it you are investigating exactly?
Just trying to see if there's any.
More of your friends?
Well, maybe. If it depends on where this conversation is happening. If they are anywhere near their goal, actually,
I'd say it's on the way. You guys haven't quite made it to the proper glass glade yet. You just left where you changed.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, after this conversation, he does not want to even acknowledge Maldorwen at all. I'm just looking for any suspicious activity, any unusual nicks or dings or anything that looks like it may have been modified recently, or potentially some symbols of the underground. Anything like that. If you want, you can potentially ask people in the area for information, or help me out looking for similar things.
The locals don't seem to appreciate my presence, so I don't know. I will see what I can do.
Okay. As the two of you kind of split a little bit, Rhukkarrak going and investigating. Are you doing so stealthily as well?
He's going to. First, he'll just kind of pass by the area just to see if there's anything of particular note as far as areas that would be particularly of interest to someone that's trying to be shady or something like that. And then if he identifies anything like that, he'll go in a little more stealthy and try and more accurately, closely investigate. Is what I'll do.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me. And then, Maldorwen, if you're doing the same, you can do so as well. Or perception would work too. Depending on what you would like to do here.
If I understood correctly, like, Rhukkarrak doesn't even want to be near Maldorwen right now. So I wouldn't know what he's doing.
Right.
I think I'm just gonna just wait, actually. Like you said, I'm looking around and this place looks more posh than the rest of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even more guards. That's what you said. So
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what to look for, to be honest. Maybe I'll look for more of Rhukkarrak's friends. People with cowls and hooded figures, I guess. Perception for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perception.
15?
15 for you, Rhukkarrak. What did you roll? 15 as well? Yeah, double 15s. Alright. So as Rhukkarrak, kind of in this new form, breaks off and starts to investigate a little closer, Maldorwen, you kind of just stay back, walk through the streets here, just try to see what you can see. Other than the grandiose of this place and just the air of more regality, if you will, there's not much that you guys see. Like, you see different elven figures going about their day. One's watering some plants or whatnot. One's lighting some candles here or there. Just kind of living life. And you don't pick up on anything suspicious.
Okay. So I'm gonna... Like, I don't want to get close to anyone, but... Eventually, when I see that, looks normal, I will start kicking my sack around.
It's Malvis time. Alright. Yeah. You do, Rhukkarrak, as you're kind of moving throughout, just looking at different signs, you kind of know what you're looking for, but at the same time you're not exactly sure what it could be. Just looking for any signs. You do see a couple guards before they see you and make sure that you don't look all sus yourself here in this moment, when they do kind of look at you. And they do kind of just look towards you. A little curiosity, but you manage to put on an air of just doing what you're doing. They don't inquire off the bat there. But you spend a good 15, 20, 30, close to an hour. How long are you wanting to spend looking here?
Yeah, that would probably be about it.
Okay.
He at least wants to be familiar with the area.
Yeah, and this does give you that. It's... Yeah, let me pull up in the map again so I can show a little bit of what's going on in the area here. There we go. So the Glass Glade is the center portion of the city here, right? The very center of the city is dominated by three main buildings. The Frostfire Citadel, the Tempest Bastion, where Euan and Asja just went, and then there's a large, which you do notice, temple-like structure, very elegant, very grandiose, and there's a little bit of smoke or steam that kind of rises from it. In passing, you've probably heard about these. They're the steam temples of Elendor. You haven't really investigated them much, but they're just there. Main religious part of Elendor. But other than that, there's a good portion of just really high-end housing and places where people live here. But you do kind of get a good feel for the different canals and when they turn and whatnot, the different places that could be a little bit more sneaky, if you would. But for the most part, the Glass Glade's pretty open. unless you like actually go into one of like the estates, right?
Yeah, he'd have to have more specific information. The Glass Glade is such a big area. Ugh. Well, kind of a waste of time.
But eventually you kind of wrap back around and you do see a familiar feathered gnomish individual throwing around a hacky sack of sorts, playing some Elvis.
Well, he'd just kind of walk past him, give him like a knowing look, and keep walking back to where he changed before.
Okay. We'll say after you see Ruka there, Maldorwen, do you follow, or what do you do?
I don't know. Rhukkarrak nodded towards Maldorwen.
Yeah, he gave you a look like, I'm done.
Okay.
And started heading back to the same alleyway they changed.
I mean, Maldorwen would think that if he wasn't trying to be seen or like recognized, then being with him it's probably a bad idea. So Maldorwen is just gonna start walking towards the Leviathan hunters where last time, trying to meet the others.
Okay.
He knows Rhukkarrak knows we're gonna meet there, so.
Okay. So as Ruka goes further north to change back into his usual self, Maldorwen, you start to break down towards the south, towards the docks. As you do so, you see in the corner of your eye, there's two guards kind of walking with an individual, as this individual kind of calls out to you. You there! You're the Cartusi, right? As they start to step closer to you. This individual is an elf. A little more rotund of an elf, though. As they're wearing just... It's at that point where their clothes look kind of obscene. To a degree. Like, the fashion sense is just so much different than the common populace that it's almost a little funny. Just all kind of garnishes of different flourishes on these clothing here. As they walk up to you, chauffeured by these two storm wardens.
At your service. You can call me Maldorwen.
The pleasure's to meet you. I've heard a lot of what you've done in the city.
And who are you, if you don't mind me asking?
He doesn't know who I am. Oh, that is funny. I am the Euan Zatriel. You must be new to the city, indeed.
Yes. But I have heard a lot about you, actually.
That's what I would expect.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Zatriel.
Likewise. I do have to inquire, what is your purpose here? We do not get much of your kind, even though it seems like you've blessed the city with a boon.
Well, as all Cartusi would hope to do, we are to serve, and especially during conflict. But yes, that is exactly why what I'm doing in the city. Coincidentally, I'm just here following where the conflict leads, Zatriel. Are you perhaps going to enjoy the boat races today? I heard the regatta is quite the event.
Oh, yes. I'm very invested, you see. I would definitely be attending.
Hmm.
You and yourself?
Well, I'm very interested to see. I've never partaken of the custom, but very, very interested in sports. I don't know if you have heard, but in Kertas we play Malvis, which is, well, our entertainment. And
Oh, I actually did catch one of those matches. I think in Valtai or something. I did go and see. Quite the entertainment indeed.
well, I'm very glad you enjoyed it. And also, I hope that the things you've heard about me and my fellow companions have been positive. You did say it was a wound, so I hope it was good.
From what I've heard and seen to a degree, there was some individuals that showed up a while back. Interesting folks. Good as you. They were not as outgoing as you.
Really? I keep hearing about this. Did you happen to ask them what they were doing here? Or did you happen to find out? I'm sure you hear a lot of things.
Not sure. They were very evasive, you see. Not like you as much. Every time I tried to make contact, it fell through. Which doesn't usually happen to me.
Well, since you're a member of the council and such a distinguished citizen of Elendor, I would like to give you a gift.
Oh, is that so? Do tell.
I want to take out from my backpack my Volanti Steer Rain Family Reserve.
Okay.
And I want to look at the bottle and I want to be like, ugh.
Little tear falls out.
But I do know that, being in a good standing with him could be very beneficial. And I'm going to say, this is a bottle of the finest Volantis that we have in Kertas. It is very, very rare. It can only be distilled during Tideswell, during the light of Lunor. You won't find it easily. And you know that Kertusi gnomes don't like to trade away their goods. So, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but here.
Kind of
for the hospitality of this city.
Grabs it from you and kind of inspects it. I do not think I've had this vintage, no. I am familiar with the Volantis, it's quite bubbly. I do enjoy it. Thank you very much. Kind of hands it to one of the storm wardens, who just kind of puts it in the bag. Well, I have preparations to get to. It was a pleasure to see you. Enjoy the races.
Likewise. Perhaps if you wouldn't mind if I see you later, you wouldn't mind having a word? Where are you gonna see the races at, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I have my private booth. If you... I'll let my guards know.
Okay, where is it located at? I have a map of the city. Could you point to it, please?
Yeah, it's right there. This bleacher here. Kind of points to one of the two bleachers at the Tideway Arena. The very top. Best view.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Satriel. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And gives a nod. A little bit of a bow. Before kind of breaking off.
Alright.
Did Ruka catch, or did he even see this happen at all?
Um,
I'm
Go
assuming
ahead
not.
and just roll perception for me. If anything, you would have got like the last little bit of it, but it would have taken you a decent amount of time to walk all the way back up, change, and then walk back down. Yeah. You missed it. Another one, just go ahead and roll insight for me.
Insight? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. 18?
Ooh,
That's
that's
good.
pretty good. Okay. With that brief interchange with Aeon Zathriel, this supposedly a very important individual, you could definitely tell that they are very much a fan of themselves. Right? He is very prideful and all about himself. But you did pick up on a little bit of... He kept like dabbing his head and a little bit of sweat. There's just a air of almost nervousness that he was hiding. You kind of picked up on it.
Okay, interesting.
But you then continue down and eventually meet up with Asja and Euan. And then a minute or two later, Rhukkarrak meets up with you guys as well as you head down to the Tidebar Markets.
Yay. Okay. I assume like we were able to find the others who were closer to the market, right?
Well, we were all meeting at the Leviathan Hunters place
Right.
to get our money.
Yep. Which is... It's part of the markets. Like there's a dock where the hunters work out of. So yeah, roughly time-wise, yeah, you all kind of arrive at the same time, roughly. Rhukkarrak a few minutes behind, but more or less the same.
Asja, Euan, I'm glad that you were able to complete your task. Was it successful?
I believe so.
Asja will hold up some papers that she's just sitting there kind of looking at two different papers. Yes. We were also able to have a word with somebody else on the inside as well.
Well, my efforts were not very useful. Just the glass glade is too much ground to cover. I will need more specific information.
Funny. I had the most fortuitous meeting as I was walking back from the Glass Glade, actually. I met with Euan Zathriel, who seemed to have heard of us and what we've done. And I lost my bottle of Volantis, which now I think I regret, but he did extend the invitation to watch the race from his private viewing area at the arena, if we wanted to do that.
The
I think
information.
that'd be a good
Go ahead,
idea.
Asya.
I was just going to say, I think that would be a good idea. I know we are also supposed to be in Glassglade, but maybe in this case we do the 2 birds, 2 stones, not just 2 birds, 1 stone. Maybe it would be useful if... I don't know.
think
I
if
know we
we are
said no
going
splitting
to-
up before, but it just... Both
I'm very
seem
sure
to be
that
good
someone like
opportunities.
Euan Zathriel would love your company, Asya. Especially being seen with you in the races.
Well, we are near the markets. guess I could go and get some nicer clothes and then look a little bit more like I actually come from this world and not not one that doesn't use money.
Well, Rhukkarrak did, like you don't seem to know some of the people that we were supposed to meet at the Glass Glade, right?
I don't know what these. We would probably have to go and try and speak to some of the contacts I made in order to get more specific information. But I am.
Maybe you could go with Fortish, and then if like nothing happens, you could meet us at the arena.
But I am not convinced that they are not trying to set us up. The last thing they wanted me to do in order to get the information was to sell out the Kazdurum.
What? What do you mean?
We also have
Like for
some
gold?
information.
No, to say that it was the Kazdurum that had caused the problems with the pickaxe and everything.
We also have some other information, but I think maybe before we discuss this again, we should probably find somewhere, just so we don't have same problem that we had this morning where somebody was listening to our conversation. Maybe we should try and find somewhere. I don't want our inside man to get in trouble. But we have inside man. But we can't get him in trouble, or then we don't have inside man anymore.
I think
But
after we get our money.
he heard a conversation the other day that very, very strange, very mysterious.
I think a visit to the Tide chapter is in order after we get our money.
Yes, let's get our money and try and find some place more discreet.
I'd be interested in hearing the captain's thoughts as well.
You all break off or head towards where you were yesterday, and you do see the Leviathan's Gale is currently docked there. And right as you approach, we're going to go ahead and take a quick intermission. We are going to dive right back in to where we left off, as the group here now arrives back at a familiar scene with the ship of the Leviathan's Gale moored on the side of the Tideborn markets here. You'll kind of step up as you see a familiar face in Seth, the captain of this vessel here, kind of looks up and kind of does a brief little wave to you guys before you kind of arrive officially. Welcome back. You all, you're all back.
Yes, we came, as you said, to get our gold or payment.
That you did. Right, let me go get it. Kind of turns around and goes under deck for a few moments. Comes back up. Let's just get a group insight check here.
On the ship?
Yes. It's a mimic.
Turns out it's a warship.
And tonight's the full moon. Bum, bum, bum. 19 for Asja.
14 for me.
14 for
14
Mal.
for you as well.
14 for Euan. And then
I
Rhukka.
think mine was 11.
11. Okay, so not too bad.
Below that.
There's definitely something off about Seth here. He is not nearly as a joyful individual as he was yesterday. He kind of saw you guys and... yeah, he's not nearly as happy. He got grumpy. He comes back up, has a few coin pouches in hand. Well, here you guys go. Kind of throws them down to you.
Like, throws them on the ground or throws them to us?
To you.
Okay. It's going to be a very different conversation if you threw them on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing alright? Don't seem quite yourself today.
I'm fine. I don't know. Would have appreciated knowing that we were going into Khazduran waters. Kind of took us all right to their doorstep. Didn't care to elaborate that that's exactly what we were doing. Smelled fishy, but would have appreciated a little bit of heads up on that.
I see. I mean, first of all, I'd be interested in knowing who told you. Second of all...
I mean, the whole city knows.
Really?
There was an announcement while we were gone.
I was not aware that the water could be owned.
You know what I meant.
I did not know. Oh, okay. No,
We did
were
have a
going
bit
to
of- We did have a bit of official business out there. I am sorry that we were not completely forthright with you. That was our oversight, but if we had told you the truth, would you have still taken us?
I don't know, but it would have been a decision I would have been able to make at that point. Put my whole crew in danger, potentially. Glad nothing came of it.
There is something going on in the city that it's, let's say, can affect a lot of people. And we were looking into that.
Right, well... maybe be a little more forthright next time. If there is a next time.
If you need to point the blame at someone, point it at me. I have issues walking long distances, so we opted to take this so it was easier for me to move.
Alright, now if I can get a group persuasion check.
I'm even better at those.
What did you say, Starfish?
Persuasion.
Right?
No.
Nice.
Everyone's rolling.
You rolled a 17.
10 for me.
And you rolled an 18. You just have a -1. No, I'm just kidding.
I do just have a -1.
So 17 for Euan, 19 for Asja. Rhukkarrak?
6 for Rhukkarrak.
6.
I mean,
Okay,
he's not
and
really
then
doing much talking anyway, so
Right.
not really.
and then Maldorwen, yours was 10.
Oh, yes, 10.
10.
Mhm.
Okay. You can see he kind of relents a little bit. Sorry, it's just disturbing news. Well, hopefully, I'm just glad that nothing bad happened.
And I tell you what, you can have my share back for your troubles. But, only thing that I would ask, not everything might be as it seems, and, even with stereotypes, not all people are evil. I'll toss the little pouch of gold back to him.
Okay. He grabs it. Just kind of nods to you. And then kind of just breaks away, goes back under deck.
Well, shall we get going?
I want to go into the market really quickly. I can meet you at the sanctuary. It will only take me just a minute. Or 5. I promise. I'm fast.
Do you need any company, or are you?
No,
keeping it
the last
yourself?
time I did. No, I need to buy some clothes, and the last time you tried to help me, well, the shoes were very nice, but they were very big. So maybe I go do this by myself, and then it's much faster.
All right.
If you want me to go and be in this very important person's... While my clothing all has very special meaning to me, and at home are very nice and what you would almost consider dressy for some people, I don't think here... I don't think it would be very welcome. At least for appearance sake. So maybe just trying to find a skirt even that is just one piece of material. Not many pieces put together.
Very well.
The one thing I am learning about this place is that apparently looks matter. And how you look is how people judge you. And Maldorwen already looks very, very impressive. I don't want to be the... how do I put it? The ugly duckling in the group of beautiful swans.
I've already got that covered, little one.
Yes, but you won't be there at first. As far as I know. Also, I am 5'7". I am not that little.
All right.
I mean, we did just discuss how we should not be alone.
Fine then. If you all want to come with me, come quick.
No. It's fine. I think we should let Asja go and find her clothes by herself.
Oh, okay.
In this culture, I look like I'm wearing rags. I haven't seen anybody else dressing like me, and I don't think it's very appropriate to go and meet some person who is akin to, like, noble people in what in their culture is considered... Well, they would probably consider it cleaning cloths put together to make skirt.
If there's a safe place in Elendor, is the market, isn't it?
One would think there is enough people around, and then I get in boat immediately and come straight to the sanctuary. I'm going to 2 of the safer places. Well, 2 of the safest places. I wouldn't even say the Bastion is safe for us anymore, seeing as the leader person does not like us at all.
Okay,
And
so where are we
Euan-
going to get
Euan, you can fill him in on what we figured out at the Bastion, right? With all the information?
I can.
Okay.
where are we going to discuss more privately?
I thought
To
we were
the-
going to do that at the sanctuary.
The tight chapter.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we meet you there.
But Euan can explain with a lot less detail than I do. I talk and talk and talk, and he's much better at very quick, concise. I'll be fast, I promise. We're just right here at the market anyways. Bye! And she just goes off.
As Asja leaves the group, the rest of you just heading straight to the Ted chapter.
Euan would. He would just turn and start going.
Okay.
Yes.
Maldorwen's a little excited to see the captain again. All right. With that, Asja, the markets are yours. The bustling, it is... Yeah, there's not as many people as you saw even yesterday. But it's still very bustling. People are calling out, and all kinds of bartering is going on, and haggling and whatnot. You can't pay that or whatnot. Or I'll give you this much. That's a obscene. All kinds of different chatter going on in the markets here. And yeah, go ahead and just roll an investigation check. We're going to see how long it takes for you to find some clothing to your liking. 18.
18.
18's pretty good, so not too long. You have a keen eye for what you're looking for.
Clothing check.
The clothing check. The shopping episode check. All right. So you run around, and what exactly do you find?
She just wants to find a version of like basically what she's wearing now, but just nicer. So more to what she sees as this culture's like. If you're going to be seen with somebody important, probably going to dress the part. You're not going to show up like a little pauper girl. So she's going to look for like just again a skirt with a nice blouse, but maybe one that covers her midriff and stuff like that, and then just a one longer skirt that's much like hers, but not pieces of material sewn together, but nicer materials. So I mean, as somebody who has done weaving and stuff like that, she's gonna kind of feel the materials and try and choose one that's nicer, color appropriate, and all the rest of that.
Right.
And that's what she's looking for.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. We'll say it's like a gold for the whole outfit, pretty much, of fancier stuff. Not like super elegant, nothing like what Aeond was wearing, but
yeah, no, she's not looking
enough.
for super. Yeah, she's not looking for super elegant. She's trying not to stick out like a sore thumb. By, as I said, being the little match girl in the sea of like diamonds and stuff like that. So she just doesn't want to draw too much attention to herself, as she already does by her looks and stuff like that. So
which you all can mark 50 gold onto your sheet from the Leviathan hunters there.
Excellent. All right, well, she will pay the 1 gold and then head to meet up with everyone else.
Okay. So the three of you arrive at the Thai chapter well before Asja. It will only take her probably 20-30 minutes, but still time. Is there anything the three of you want to do in that time?
Euan would be moving towards the Thai chapter as quickly as possible. He wants to disseminate the information to the rest of the party, so that way we're all on the same page when Asja gets back.
Right.
As well as asking or figuring out if they want to let the captain know what's going on, because it might never hurt to have an extra set of eyes.
Right. Okay. So you arrive at the Thai chapter. You enter the Thai Heart main hall there. And it's still very quiet. You wait a little bit. You kind of go knock on the captain's door, and there is not a response.
Well, that doesn't bode well. Hopefully we can just find a room that we could speak in, within the Thai chapter, since we're operating as as a part of it right now. Have we been directed to any conference rooms or anything like that at all?
No, there's the captain's quarters, like her main office, and then the actual Thai Heart. And you've kind of seen the other barracks and whatnot, but you haven't ever gone into them. You haven't had a reason to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll just kind of look for a empty meeting room looking place.
I mean, from what you can tell, the whole thing is empty. You don't really see anyone within.
That's not good. Well, I certainly don't like this.
She did say that they were very busy. And there were very few people to do anything.
So, Ruka, why do you think that we were being set up when they told us to go to the glass glade?
Because like I said, it would seem that they are working for or with whoever is trying to frame the Khazdurim. And why would they hear a conversation about trying to figure out who else it is, and then if they are associated with these other individuals, then tell us to exactly where to go to find the people in the city responsible? It does not make sense. It only makes sense if they're trying to frame us or get us. I don't know. It's really, really frustrating because I really wanted to work with these people to get information. And now it would seem that our goals do not align.
Wouldn't it be best not to go there then, if it is perhaps a trap?
Yes, that is one of the reasons why I wanted to scope out the area first, to see if there was some sort of trap. Now that I did not find anything, I don't know.
You didn't find anything?
No, everything looked normal. Well, as much as I could tell as an outsider. I did not see anything suspicious. There was people just going about their business. And
yes, it looked like that to me as well.
Like, if I kind of want to go to see what they are planning, but I also don't want to fall into the trap. And I don't know, maybe we should just go to visit this Zatriel in his box during the race. Potentially get to know him better, get more information, and keep him safe. I don't know. Did you notice anything about him when you met him?
Well, now that you mention it, I did notice that he was a bit nervous, which, I don't know, perhaps something to do with the winner of the race? I don't think so. He was also with a couple of storm wardens. But now that you're putting things like this, isn't going to be by his side also putting a target on our backs to be blamed for whatever happens if they're gonna blame him?
As you guys are having your conversation, for really the first time, Euan is actually starting to get almost annoyed. You can tell he's very tense. He's got his arms kind of crossed in front of him with his halberd leaned up against the wall. And the spines on the top of his head are kind of cresting almost like a cockatiel. And he's got a visible line of sort of irritation, if you will, on his face as you guys are discussing. Not necessarily that he's mad at you guys, just he's very on edge. The side chapter being empty has set off a lot of alarm bells for him, and he's very impatient.
I just don't know what to do. Everything seems like the wrong answer. What about Euan? Are you okay?
Look, I don't like this. I don't like that the Tide chapter is being attacked. I don't like that somehow the Leviathan hunters that we were with found out that we were going into Khazdarim waters and we didn't say anything to them, and we didn't tell any people, except for a very few. So either someone knew something, knew that we were going out there and said something, or we've been betrayed by someone. And
Quick note. You've heard now twice, once from the captain and now from Seth. While you guys were gone, the Storm Wardens made a public announcement that the Khazdarim were there.
right. But this is, to my knowledge, the first time that someone has said that they found out that we were going out to visit Khazdarim waters? Or am I misunderstanding that?
Well, yes, but you could imagine it wouldn't be much of a stretch for Seth to have talked with other people who informed him the Khazdarim were there and right where you guys went to.
All right. So I am reading a little too much into it, but still. Look, Asja and I spoke with Gronk today. And Gronk is going to be doing a little bit of digging on the inside. And let it slip that Kalarath may have been speaking to someone, a cloaked individual, and had mentioned something about bolstering their defenses. Kalarath also has motive to, not want the Khazdarim here. All of this points to the Storm Wardens, or at least Kalarath directing the Storm Wardens to be a part of this, which would explain a lot why he wouldn't want us poking around, especially if we were finding out things that were integral to his plan. And if the Dawnguard, or whatever they are, pardon me, are a part of it, well, we are a part of it, and the Dawnward Sentinels were a problem, that might be cause to put them all under arrest.
We've also, for better or worse, made ourselves known. I don't know if people are gonna think we're a part of this.
If we don't play our cards right, if we don't prove innocence, that could very well be a possibility that we'll be implicated.
Seems like a tough choice to make. Either the Glassblade or the arena. Both seemed like the center of whatever is gonna happen.
What we know is that you said Zathriel was walking around with 2 Storm Wardens. There are Storm
Yes.
Wardens in that box. I am not sending Asja in there alone.
I was planning to go with Asja. Of course. And trust me, she would be safe with me. I would die before letting her fall.
I'm not keen on splitting us up because I believe that we would be better together. But I think our attention needs to be put in both situations. Even from a distance, just to see if something is happening, and then we can intervene if need be.
But unless you have some sort of magical sight or teleportation, I don't know. I don't know. How would we do that? Like I don't want to split up either. It was quite evident that yesterday that I was not as good as I thought I was.
The fact of the matter is we're getting too close to an answer and they don't like it.
Why?
You don't know why they want to implicate the Khazdarim? Do you know what they are planning? Did they tell you?
If you have any more information, Rhukkarrak, now would be the time to discuss it.
Or if you know where they are or where they meet, perhaps we could go there before the race and find anything else out. Anything that would help us make sense of this mess.
So, I do know a location that we may be able to meet, but they are quite secretive and will not take not likely be okay with outside. I don't know. But it is clear that they have a much better understanding of the situation than we do because of, well, the thing that they told me to do yesterday. They already knew that we were planning on, well, there's a possibility we'd go out and check on the Khazdurim. And they were apparently already keeping tabs on us at the inn.
Yes.
Guess it couldn't hurt too much. Probably already know that you are with me.
I'd say around this time, Asja, you rejoined the group.
I think it's worth a shot.
Walk in.
Welcome back, Asja. Hope you found what you were looking for.
Oh, yes. Very quickly. Very nice.
Good.
How are you on going to see some shady people? Yeah.
I'm not sure if you really want to bring little ray of sunshine, rainbows, the ones that can't lie.
I don't know if you will be needing to lie. It would seem that they already know much more about us than we know about them. And
chances are they're already waiting for us to come and seek more information.
I don't like it, but if you all want to go, I can lead you there. They are apparently hang out in a ship in the shipyard. It's kind of broken. Doesn't really look seaworthy, but apparently still floats.
Right now,
We're
it's
not
the
too
only
far.
other lead we've got. Sorry, Maldorwen.
No, go ahead. Sorry for this. I was just thinking that we're not too far from there right now.
No, we are not. Just be careful. I don't know what kind of code these people have. I have little to no dealings with them, other than to hear that they might have some information about death and its implications. Anyway.
Well, if they wanted something from you and they reached out, perhaps they wanted something from us. And we could say that we are going to help them. If that help us get the information we need. I think. What do you think for this, Asja?
I don't relish it, but the best place to get any sort of information is either from a drunk or from the underbelly of the city.
I could still go work on the drunk person instead of you taking me with you to a place where apparently they like to death energy and we would have to maybe stretch the truth that we are helping them so they help us and I feel very uncomfortable. I need a snack.
Well, they do have a lot of information that would be useful for you, Asja, it would seem.
We just need to find out what their price is and what exactly they want.
Fine, let's go. I don't like this.
I don't like
But
it
if
either.
you all want to go, then let's go. Just, I have a very bad feeling about at least me going in there. Maybe not the three of you.
If you don't want to go, I understand. No one is going to force you to, Asja, if you don't want to.
Well, no. We did say earlier to not split up, and if I went and split up and went to just go and meet with Euan ahead of time, it probably would not be a smart idea. So, let's hope that this idea... Remember, I am going to need to be able to have magical healing by the end of the day if something bad happens and we have to get involved. So if anything does start to look, I don't know, suspect there, I believe the way you put it yesterday on the beach was if something looks like it's coming from behind, we try and get out of there with as little fighting as possible, maybe. Maybe we just fight our way out as we... I won't say run away because I'm pretty sure that will hurt some egos, but retreat smartly.
Oh, I have no problem with running away if it is a problem. Just let's try not to get into the lower, deeper area of the ship. They locked me down there and knocked me out. Not pleasant. Anyway.
If we can't even find the ship, that is.
Well,
Let's go.
I've seen it floating around the market a lot. It is a bar.
Well,
But
let's go.
Yep.
I did to experience all new things when I left home. Didn't think this was going to be on the things as soon as possible, but that's okay. Let's go. New experience.
As you all step out of the very quiet and kind of ominous Tide Heart here, wondering where the captain may or may not be, you're greeted by a bustling city. You see more and more people now walking and traveling right past here towards the Tideway Arena as the day continues on. And there's lots of cheering, there's lots of laughter. That unease in the city seems to be dulled somewhat in the anticipation and excitement from the city. But it kind of rings at deaf ears to you all as you all have this foreboding feeling of something is happening. We don't know what it is. We need to find what it is as you all are continuing to go towards the markets here. If we can get a group perception check to see if you guys can spot this vessel that Rhukkarrak described.
Nope, Euan's too mad.
So angy.
18, of course, leave it to Asja. 18.
Nice.
5 for
I got a
Euan.
7.
74 for me.
24 from Maldorwen too. Sheesh. Okay. There's some really good rolls and some not so good rolls, but on average, that's about right. It takes you a little bit as you all don't know exactly what you're looking for. Rhukkarrak, you are not. It was definitely not in the same place that you visited it and saw it recently or the other day. And so you're a little lost. Maldorwen, you do pick up on it first, followed by Asja just briefly after. You both kind of meet eyes, or mask and eyes, and look towards it and kind of nod back to each other. And yeah, that's probably it. Kind of dilapidated boat that, and you can barely make off sign the drifting hull. And you kind of then pointed out to Rhukkarrak, who then confirms this is the vessel that previously he encountered. Kind of make your way towards it, and currently it is moored on one of the other sides of the markets, kind of in the mix of all kinds of bustling activity happening currently. And you arrive, and it just is there. You don't really... There's not like a gangplank that comes down from it. It's just kind of sitting there floating.
How did Rhukkarrak just shouted up at them before or something?
Yep, previously when you actually onboarded this, there was an orcish individual who called out to you, and then they stopped and lowered a gangplank for you to onboard. But currently you do not see anyone on the vessel. At least not on the upper
Would it be possible
portion.
to jump on board?
It could be. You could do some like crazy acrobatic
I pick Maldorwen up,
up and
throw
over. That could work too. It's just angry birds. Yeah, it would require a check that would be pretty difficult, but not impossible. There's all kinds of different other ships and whatnot, and like market stalls that you could use to your leverage to parkour up this.
Okay.
I mean, as they approach it, Ruka's just gonna kind of call out, "Hey, is there anyone on board? Can we come aboard?"
No response.
That is not a good sign.
Perhaps they've already mobilized.
If it's empty, perhaps it is the best time to take a look, if there's no one around.
Or we have to arrange a meeting ahead of time.
We already have a meeting ahead of time for the race in the Glassglade.
No, they have a contact. Ugh. We probably need to set up a meeting with the Veiled Alchemist. They don't just let anyone on board. But that also means that we will probably not be able to get a meeting with them before the race. We could try, but
Maybe this veiled alchemist knows more? Is that at the market?
yes, it's the alchemy shop. Here, follow me.
So you did know more than you let on.
Well, I thought we didn't need it. I thought that was just for the first time.
All right, let's go.
Maldorwen,
As your
with your 24, as you guys kind of break off from that, you do, out of your periphery, notice what you believe is the same cloaked figure that you saw at the tavern. Kind of off in the market. And as soon as you kind of notice them, they kind of duck away out of your sight.
I think we're being watched. They are following us.
Not a particularly surprising turn of events.
Does anyone else get the sneaking suspicion we are being set up from both sides?
That's what we were talking about. Going to the glass glade or going to the arena, it feels like either of them could be a setup.
There does not seem to be any good answer.
I think it would be easier to deal with a few cutthroats than to deal with the entire military might of a city.
Unless these cutthroats are... The thing is, with the military, they have rules. I don't know if the cutthroats have any.
You talk to Gronk. If Gronk is an ally, perhaps he could help us if we get in trouble with the Storm Wardens.
I doubt it. He can't let them know that he knows anything right now. If he's working on the inside.
If anything starts to happen, I know that I can just... Oof. I don't know how I can help you though, Maldorwen. I don't know if that magic extends... If I can do it on someone else. I know I can do it on myself. That's how I used to be a little sneaky playing hide and go sneak. But I at least know that I can get out of a situation if I need to.
So what is our decision then? Are we gonna split? Are we gonna be together?
Well, you wanted
Perhaps
to try
we
and
should
talk
just
to
toss
the...
a coin.
You wanted to try and talk to Zalindra? The alchemist? The more we deal with them, the more likely it will be that they are upset with us for knowing more than we're supposed to. But let's just go and find out. Find out if we can get a meeting before the race.
Or even what this failed alchemist might know.
Let's just go, because
Yeah.
the sun is moving through the sky pretty quickly, which means the races are coming, and we need to make a decision. So let's go.
So he's gonna lead them
Okay.
to...
As you start to head up that way, once again, you turn a corner and you see this hooded figure in front of you, probably a good 100 or so feet, looking back towards you. As Rhukkarrak, the hairs on the back of your head kind of stand up for a moment as you hear in your head, "Follow," as they turn around and start sprinting in the opposite direction.
Well, if we wanted a contact, looks like this is it. And he's going to turn and start walking briskly. If no one follows him, he'll stop. If everyone starts following him, he'll pick up his pace and start running after him.
Okay, what are you all doing?
Following Rhukkarrak?
Euan's gonna follow.
Okay.
I was just gonna look confused, but then shrug and follow.
All right. So as you all kind of step up your pace here, following this individual, and they're not full on dashing, and that, but they're bobbing very quickly through the crowd here and weaving. You do have to keep up a pretty decent pace to keep up with this individual. Let's just have everyone roll Constitution saving throws for me. So I'll do a little bit of a more intense sprint
Hey,
here.
look at that, pretty good. 20 for me.
Natural
24.
20, so 22.
Natural
That's
20
the
for us,
second
yeah.
nat 20.
Wow, very nice.
The second nat 20.
15
are
for
all-
Euan.
All very good. And 16 for Rhukkarrak. Nice. All right. So you all kind of quickly pick up the pace and start to follow this individual. And you start to wind through the markets here and then eventually break off and across one of the main bridges that leads back towards the rest of the city there. And quickly you're following. There's a couple times that you almost lose sight of this individual, but you manage to keep them in your sights as you quickly then make your way up towards the western portion of the city through a couple different alleyways, and then through one final alleyway there where you kind of all are heaving a little bit. It's a pretty good jaunt, but the individual is now just standing there in the alleyway.
What do you want from us? Why the glass glade?
You all know a lot. More than people want you to. There are things happening.
Not enough, it seems.
Things that not everyone wants.
What do you
Who
want?
are you?
Someone who shouldn't be talking to you. But I don't know if I agree with what's going on.
What do you
What's
stand to
going on?
gain?
Sorry, can you guys repeat yourselves?
Go ahead, Maldorwen.
No, go ahead.
What do you stand to gain from talking with us?
I'm not sure. Hope. There's some dark things happening.
What do you stand to lose if you don't speak with us?
Who knows? The city, though. Change is coming.
Where in the glass glade are we supposed to look?
You can just hear the hesitancy in her voice.
If we're going to get to the bottom of this, we can't just wander around the glass glade forever.
I don't know how much I can say. Just being
How
here,
about this?
talking to you, puts a target on my back.
What did you say, Asja?
I was going to say, how about this? Is what we're looking for an ember, perhaps? You can just nod your head if I have asked a question. Then at least we know where to start looking in the glass glade to look.
He kind of gives a subtle nod.
Then we look at his house.
The race. It's a distraction. The Khazdurim.
Yo-
Another one. This was all set in motion. I don't know if anyone can stop it at this point. But if anyone could, I hope it would be... He kind of motions towards you guys.
We need to be in the temple, don't we?
Be careful with the Shadow Thorn.
Yes, I've already been pricked.
Euan kind of cocks an eyebrow, a little bit confused.
I have to go.
For what it's worth, thank you.
Good luck. Whatever you decide. I'm sorry this falls upon you. But I don't know if there's anyone else. And with that, she kind of turns her back to you and dashes around the corner.
Well, that was a lot of information. Is there any way I could roll an insight check just on the conversation to see if...
Yeah. What exactly are you inciting?
I am trying to incite if her fear is legitimate or if it's an act.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
Because someone speaking with us that is legitimately afraid, we have far more reason to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I will use my Hero of inspiration on that.
Oh, snappers, okay.
I was gonna say, can Rhukkarrak also?
That's a lot better. That's a 15.
15 is very nice.
Nice.
Rhukkarrak, you can roll as well. Yep.
Yeah, because he more is wanting to get a feel of her affiliation with the Shadowthorn and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Never mind. That's a 6.
Quick, use your inspiration. Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, let me. I used that last session.
To not die. It's all right.
Yeah, you definitely... There was some definite genuine emotions from like a sense of worry and definitely some fear and especially hesitant to speak with you guys.
Then Euan would turn to the party and say, she's afraid. If she were trying to set us up, she wouldn't be as afraid as she was to speak with us. At the very least, there is some merit to what she's saying, and I think that we should listen.
As they're talking, Asja is going to pull out the list of refugees and just look down the names.
There is like 6 names. But one firmly stands out to you.
Okay.
Rivenor and Arok. Your father.
She folds the sheet back up and puts it back in her bag. Right then. There is no... That name is not on the list. But you can see across her face, visible as if her world has been rocked twice now today. Like the foundation of her whole world has kind of been broken for a second time, is the look that's kind of on her face as she goes, maybe I was wrong with my theory, but that name is not on the list. What is our plan? Your shadow person, the one you were pricked by.
Shadow Thorn.
That's it.
Euan, sorry, go ahead.
To say, as far as I understand, that is more of his nickname, maybe? I don't know. Anyway.
Euan will just, catching the moment of emotion on Asja's face, just kind of reassuringly put a hand on her shoulder. And turn to kind of walk out of the little alley or wherever it is they were talking with this individual. I don't think it's good for us to stay.
Before we go, wait. What is our plan now? I mean, we're in an alley. We can talk a little bit more privately, and the person that's been following us is obviously not following us because they just ran away from us. What's our plan now? Before it was the two of you were going to go to the Glassglade, and the two of us were going to go to Aeond. Do we now just not go to Aeond and just go to the Glassglade? What do we do? Or do we still split up and maybe try and convince Aeond, I don't know, to have a tummy ache and has to come home early or something? I don't know.
I think that we all should get a new interest in the religion of the city.
Okay.
I suspect that, because you said that your city's primal essence was taken by the Khazdorim?
Yes.
As was mine.
And so it would be very obvious if the primal essence here disappeared as to who would be at fault.
But I am confused because they have two here. They have the one that's the frost one. And then Aeond. Remember, last night we learned that Aeond has one at his home that he said his family brought here and they have been the caretakers of.
I thought it was just one of fire that his ancient family brought here to found the city. And that the one in the city is the one that his family anciently brought. And it's one of the reasons why they are such a prominent family, is because they've been here for ever.
Okay, well, let's just go to the temple and see for our own eyes, because I could very much be wrong. I totally understand that. But again, the more we talk about it, the more time we waste.
A little bit of clarification. You did learn from the captain that that's very much true, Rhukkarrak. Aeon's, the Zathriel family, brought the primal ember to Elandor when they first established it. However, the city does have a primal frost. And Maldorwen even asked the captain if she knew where that came from, and she didn't.
Oh.
You know, it's starting to get really suspicious. A bunch of people steal a bunch of other people's primal essences, and then a bunch of other people come and try and steal their... I think everybody would probably just be a lot better if everybody just returned everybody's primal essences. Let's go.
I would suspect that the fire essence is in the temple, because it is a temple of steam, right?
From what you saw,
Anyway,
yeah.
yes, we can find that when we get there.
Yeah, if I remember from our tour, it should be just on the far side of the markets.
Yes, I believe it was in the center of the glass glade when I was walking around there earlier today.
So yeah, you guys are talking about two different places. There's the Tights Up Sanctuary, and then the main steam temple. Which, are you going to the center of the city then? To the main steam temple?
That's what Rhukkarrak was talking about.
Okay, let's go.
What is the sanctuary?
I was not talking about that, so there is another place. At some point when we have time, I will ask Maldorwen to pull out his map, and I will try and figure out the place I was thinking about. Let's go.
Okay.
We probably shouldn't stay in one place for too long, especially with suspicion already on us.
And that's why we're already walking and talking.
Yes.
All right. As you guys journey back across the large bridge there, back towards the glass glade, the day it's slipping by. Like, traveling in the city, doing all these things. It's a little past midday. You probably have a few hours, if that, before sunset. And the city is noticeably more vacant where you currently are, as you have noticed the migration of people towards the Tideway Arena, getting ready for the big event. But you do head over to the Glass Glade again, to the large central structure that Rhukkarrak was able to pick up on a little bit in the surveillance of the Glass Glade. And it is an exquisite... It doesn't stand as tall as the Frostfire Citadel or the Tempest Bastion, but it is still another large centerpiece here within the city. There are several different, almost chimney-esque style protrusions from the top, and you see just clear kind of steam that billows from them. As you have to then go across a couple bridges to the actual thing, because the base of this structure is built into like a canal itself. Like the water comes right up to the building itself. The only way to really get to it is through these like bridges. As you walk through the large open archway of this building, you can see the canal itself goes further in to the actual room, and there's a large kind of pool of water in the center here with a large brazier of sorts that is currently just letting off steam. It is not lit currently, but just steam kind of billows from it. As you step into here, it is very moist, it's very humid within this room. The steam kind of embracing you all as you step within. You do see a couple of different individuals sat there in quiet meditation as they just are inhaling and exhaling this central steam.
And so throughout our travels throughout the city, did we come to know that this was like where the primal fire was, or a primal flame was?
You're not sure where the primal ember resides.
Okay.
The only clue that was kind of given was that the Zethriel family takes care of it. But it's kind of a secret for a reason. It's not super common knowledge where the essences just reside. They're pretty well defended. You have seen throughout the city smaller, similar temples to this. Not as grandiose of a scale as this main one in the center, but similar in style. As you guys all kind of walk in and look a little confused as to what to do next, slender elven woman kind of steps up towards you. Serene presence and an air of quiet authority. Her hair is deep charcoal with streaks of silver, often braided and adorned with small beads of emberglass and aquarite, symbolizing her devotion to both fire and water. She dresses in flowing robes of deep indigo and silver with subtle hints of crimson. A delicate star-shaped pendant bearing the symbol of Alamor rests at her chest.
Welcome in. Is there something I can help you with?
We were here to worship the primal essences of the city. Is this steam generated by the primal flame? Primal ember?
Gives a little nod as she kind of starts walking towards, like, around the actual interior here.
Yes, the steam temples are a very sacred place for us here in Elendor. During Embervale, we use the fire of the ember to ignite our braziers across the city. They burn bright for the whole season of Harsh. Then when the rains come down with tide swell, the canals fill once again and extinguish the flame, causing the steam to fill the city. The connection to these two opposites, fire, water, frost, ember, is unique and powerful.
Rhukkarrak will take a deep breath. Yes, I see.
As you do take that warm kind of steam kind of fills your lungs, and it's very rejuvenating. You exhale, and there's just a wave of kind of calm that kind of embraces you.
I see. Then we may just stay here for a bit.
Very well. If you have need, you only need to ask.
And she then heads off to help other individuals.
Well, this was my idea. I don't know if anyone else has anything better. Pulling at straws at this point.
I actually find this quite pleasant.
Asja is going to just kind of move off and find a bench. It's kind of out of view of the door, so like if somebody just first walks in, they're not going to immediately notice Rainbow Bright in the corner. She's just going to kind of try and go, and she's going to have a seat and enjoy the feeling of the calm in the room as she's still processing exactly what she just found out, so.
Right.
I unfortunately don't think we'd be able to go and address Euan directly and ask. I think that would raise a lot of suspicion, especially with the storm wardens you said were around him.
Well, we're supposed to be in the glass glade, and we are here. Don't know if this is the location. Kind of expected. I don't know that there was no primal anything in this town I'm from, so kind of expected it to be here. But perhaps we just rotate a watch outside.
Yes, also after realizing that we may be the ones that have to look out for each other, I think we should stay together. So if everyone else agrees, I guess staying here at the glass glade is the best idea.
Yes, but like I said, we should definitely keep an eye on the area around the temple, just in case.
Should we go check the Frostfire Citadel?
How close is the Frostfire Citadel to here?
It's like right next door. If we go back to the map here
Thank you.
and zoom in here, that's Glade. The main scene temple is right there, right in the center of the city.
See, that's what I was confusing. I was confusing the Frostfire Citadel with the temple. That's my bad.
Okay.
Sorry.
What is the Frostfire Citadel again?
So what you have been told that is the main. It's where all the official business happens. It's where the council members meet. It's the main cornerstone of the city.
Well, I think that we could see it from here, and I think we could use a little bit of relaxation in here. So, like I said, if we just want to, I don't know, 2 at a time, just keep watch outside, and the other 2 can relax, maybe rotate every hour or so.
Plus, I am assuming that these 2 big houses that are on side by side here, one of them is most likely his house. So if there's something at his house, at least we have view of everywhere from here.
I think that's a good plan. I wonder if I can bathe in the steam holes. Steam pools, rather.
I don't think they would let you. This seems to be a very holy spot.
I don't
I don't think they
like-
want you cleaning your holes in the holy spot.
I don't...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh. No, it's... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if... I don't normally like the heat, but this is present.
Euan will actually go and seek out the person they spoke to initially, just to inquire about if they have any like steam pools that he could potentially soak in for at least a little bit and to alleviate his pain. Because if there is a combat going to happen, he would like to have a little bit better movement.
Mm-hmm. She informs you that there aren't pools themselves that you can actually get into, but like places where you can meditate and take deep breaths in, allow the steam to really envelop you.
Yes, I would like to use the divine saunas, please.
Yeah.
Real life as well.
Right? And it's every breath that you guys are taking in here, like the breath in is warm and comforting, and soothing. And then as you exhale, it's like a crisp, refreshing breath. And it does wonders. Or just like the air of tension that has kind of been building in all your minds. This just kind of peels that back just a little bit. Allows you that moment of reprieve. Which, if we want, we can count this as a short rest as you all kind of sit in here to do so. So if anyone wants to roll hit dice, you can do so. You can roll... in this instance, I'll say you won't need to use a healer's kit because of the unique properties of the Steam Temple to roll a hit dice.
I think I'm alright.
But-
I'm only down 2 hit points.
Okay. Wasn't sure how far you got up.
Good. 1. I'm down 1.
Well, Mal, it looks like Euan and Asja could really use the temple right now. Do you want to take the first shift?
Yes, of course.
Then he'll
Okay.
just walk out and keep an eye out around the area. Anything suspicious.
So you guys start surveying the area. Go ahead and both of you roll perception checks for me.
Actually, DM, I think I will use my once daily cast of Good Berry and eat 2 of them to replenish my 2 HP.
There you go. Is that another nat 20?
Nat 20,
My
let's go.
goodness
Nat
gracious.
20.
Third one of the
Yes.
night.
All
Actually
the
rolling well
20s.
for a change. When it'll change
Exactly,
in combat.
finally.
It'll
Those
change
are-
in combat. We're fine.
Like I say, don't rely on it too much. It's gonna go away. Don't you?
So, yeah, as Asja and Yuan kind of sit in there with a moment of reprieve, both Rhukkarrak and Maldorwen start to do a little bit of a perimeter. Just continue to see if you can't see anything that is a little sus or interesting. And one thing that definitely does pique your interest a little bit that you don't notice at first, but it kind of comes to after a good 10-15 minutes of just watching. But earlier than this morning, like 2-3 hours ago when you were here, not even quite that long, there was a little more of a guard presence, right? That is even further diminished now. You don't see a lot of Storm Wardens. You do here and there, but it's very few and far between. Mostly just, you can see them at the Tempest Bastion, which is just like 300-ish feet away from the temple itself. But other than there, catching a glimpse here and there of one, you don't see a lot.
Yeah. Therefore, the additional guard someplace else.
All right. So roughly that hour or so goes by. Alamore, the sun in the skies, starts to slowly set as the city here is pretty quiet. There's not a whole lot of people. You do see people here and there. It's almost as if it was the middle of the night, which it's not quite yet, obviously. Sun's still up. But it's just much quieter here. As the time continues to go on. Do you guys switch patrols at all?
Yeah, you will take a patrol at some point.
Yep.
Would also offer berries to anyone else who's still down on any HP. He has 8 of them left.
Asja will take a berry. Her tummy is rumbly.
What do those even taste like?
They are quite spicy, but also rather sweet. kind of hard to explain, but they are in fact good.
I not really hurt, but if no one else wants one, I'd like to try one.
Sure. And I'll hold out his hands. Like 7 more of these small round red berries that the bottoms of the berries almost look like it has a star on it, made out of the just kind of where the stem and everything is on the berry itself.
Okay, he'll pick one up, pop it in his mouth.
I'll
Give me a
grab one.
constitution check for the spicy. No. Did you say
I'll
you want
grab
to
one.
go?
I'm gonna kick it up. I'm gonna balance it on my beak, and then I'm gonna eat it.
Oh,
What does
that
these
is
berries taste like, Euan?
They have this sort of richness, almost like a cherry, like a dark cherry to them. However, there's the sweetness from these berries kind of rolls over your tongue. And it starts off with this sort of warming heat that fills the body as it restores hit point and actually provides enough nutrients to sustain you for the day if you need it. And then there's a brief moment where this spice builds up to the point that it's almost painful, at least for you, and probably a little more painful for you too. Almost like a really spicy cinnamon candy. And then the spice fades.
Nice. Very nice.
They're Christmas candies.
Pretty much.
That was very good, but it was. I don't know.
Really clears
I
the
don't know if it
sinuses.
was too spicy or just the right amount. It was weird.
Yes, it also feels like this could feed an entire Cartusi family for a day. Oh, I'm so full now.
Yes, we. Honestly, it was a pleasant surprise that all the meals we skipped, trying to run around and. Anyway, thank you.
No problem.
I can just imagine now. They're like a family of 4 Carthusi gnomes and take one of these berries and just cut it in fourths. Here's your your fourth of a berry. Oh, please, that's too much. Give me an eighth.
All I can think of is Elvish lambus bread. 1 bite's enough to fill the stomach of a full-grown man. How many have you eaten? 3?
No, I don't think it would satiate you. It would be enough nutrients for, like, you could live off of it. But it wouldn't fill you.
Enough, yeah.
Yeah, feel you like eating a proper meal would. It's funny though. Alright. So Euan and Asja, if you guys take a patrol, go ahead and roll perception checks for me as well. As it is starting to get sunset now. The sun is starting to fade.
16.
10.
16 and 10. Not bad. Even from here, like, you're not all the way across the city, but pretty decently far away from the Tideway Arena. You can just hear the low kind of bassy crowd that has formed over there and the excitement that comes from there. As whatever is happening is starting. The race is beginning. And currently you guys kind of look towards it with curiosity, kind of a little bit of, not sadness, but unfortunate situation that you weren't able to actually go watch it. But there's something larger at play here. And so you keep your attention on this moment, on this area. As you kind of look around, not notice much. Until... what's that? you see off in the corner, down one of the canals, you swear that humanoid figures are breaching the surface. It's very hard to make out though. It is quite a ways away, and the light of Alamor is no longer with you. The dusk has started to settle in. You barely catch it. And that is what we're going to end tonight's session.
Rude.
Oh man.
No.
I roll to attack the DM.
Ha!
Does a 10 hit the DM?
It does. Oh no.